Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In a stunning twist that feels ripped straight from the most dramatic corners of Sister Wives history, the Brown family is reeling after a bombshell court order surfaced, revealing that Kody Brown has been ordered to repay a staggering $100,000 allegedly taken from his OG kids, igniting a firestorm of accusations, emotional confessions, and behind-the-scenes chaos that threatens to fracture the already shattered plural family even further. The once idealistic patriarch, who long claimed to be a figure of fairness, unity, and spiritual leadership, now finds himself at the center of one of the most humiliating scandals of his life, as the legal spotlight exposes years of alleged financial slights, secret transfers, and eyebrow-raising decisions that reportedly left several of his older children feeling used, betrayed, and completely abandoned. While the family has seen its fair share of emotional hurricanes, from divorces to betrayals to loyalty wars, nothing has rocked the Browns quite like this sudden legal reckoning that forces Kody to confront accusations that he mismanaged or diverted money belonging to the very children who once defended him with their whole hearts. And as news of the court order explodes across social media, Sister Wives fans are left stunned, furious, and hungry for answers about how a father who preached principle and responsibility for more than 2 decades could end up accused of shortchanging his own kids. According to insiders close to the situation, the controversy first erupted when discrepancies allegedly emerged in the finances tied to the older Brown children, specifically money associated with educational funds, family trusts, and shared earnings during the family's early TLC days. While the Browns always portrayed themselves as a unit walking in spiritual harmony, documents reportedly suggested that certain funds expected to be accessible to the older children, particularly those from the original 4 wives, were either redirected, left unaccounted for, or allegedly used for purposes the kids never approved. When the shocking numbers began to surface, several of the OG kids, many of whom have long hinted at emotional strain with Kody, demanded answers, transparency, and accountability. But instead of clarity, they allegedly received more confusion, more deflection, and more excuses, creating the perfect storm that eventually led to the involvement of legal authority. After months of back and forth, the shocking court order dropped. Kody must repay $100,000 to remedy the alleged financial mishandling tied to the OG kids' funds. The news sent shockwaves through the Brown universe, reopening old wounds and highlighting tensions that many thought had finally cooled. For years, the OG kids, particularly those from Mary, Janelle, and Christine, have subtly hinted that the emotional partnership they once felt with their father had faded. Many viewers noticed the growing distance as the kids matured, built their own lives, and publicly admitted that Kody wasn't as involved as he portrayed himself to be. But now, with a massive court order on record, the fracture feels deeper and far more devastating. Several insiders claim the kids feel validated but emotionally drained, as if this scandal proves everything they've been afraid to say, that Kody's priorities shifted long ago, that the family's early unity was more illusion than reality, and that the man who preached stewardship may have been looking out for himself more than anyone realized. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, the dynamic between the wives, both current and former, has reportedly erupted into quiet storms of their own. Christine, who left the marriage years ago and has become increasingly outspoken about her experiences, is said to be furious but not surprised, allegedly telling close friends that the financial situation makes perfect sense given what she endured. Janelle, whose patience with Kody financially evaporated long before their split, is reportedly devastated, not because she's shocked but because the kids she raised with such love and discipline were allegedly harmed in the process. Mary, long relegated to emotional isolation, is believed to feel a painful blend of heartbreak and vindication, quietly noting that she, too, once trusted Kody with everything, only to be left with nothing but the pieces. And then there's Robin, the lone remaining wife, who is allegedly drowning in guilt, confusion, and overwhelming pressure as critics once again accuse her of benefiting from decisions that put others at a disadvantage. Robyn has reportedly been in tears ever since the news broke, insisting that she had no knowledge of the alleged financial mishandling and pushing back against claims that she and her children were prioritized in a way that hurt the OG siblings. But the optics are brutal. The court order, the tension, the years of speculation about favoritism, and the lingering sense that Robyn and her kids lived a much more comfortable lifestyle. All of it has reignited the fan fury that has long simmered beneath the surface. And as fans revisit old episodes, reanalyze family conversations, and connects they previously overlooked, the narrative continues to sharpen. Was Kody funneling resources into one branch of the family while neglecting the rest? TLC insiders say the timing of the court order couldn't be worse for Kody, who is already clinging to a battered public image after years of on-screen meltdowns and off-screen family implosions. His reputation took major hits after Christine, Janelle, and Mary all left him, pointing to emotional neglect, manipulation, and the collapse of plural family structure he once insisted was sacred. But this newest scandal, financial betrayal, cuts far deeper because it doesn't just affect partners, it affects his children, the very people viewers once believed were his pride and joy. And while Kody continues to insist he loves all of his kids equally, the legal order paints a starkly different picture, one that raises pressing questions about where the family's money went, who benefited from it, and whether the OG kids were quietly pushed aside as his priorities shifted toward a narrower, Robyn-centric household. The emotional fallout has been staggering. Some of the Brown children have reportedly stopped communicating with Kody altogether. Others are said to be cooperating with each other behind the scenes, sharing information, comparing notes, and piecing together a financial puzzle that spans more than a decade of filming, property purchases, and cross-family negotiations. The revelation about the $100,000 has allegedly encouraged some of the kids to dig deeper, raising fears that more financial inconsistencies could come to light if anyone decides to pursue further investigation. Family members who once felt powerless now feel emboldened, knowing a court has validated concerns they kept silent for years. And though none of the kids have publicly spoken out yet, sources say that many feel relieved that someone, finally, held Kody accountable in a way none of them could. Meanwhile, Kody is said to be furious, humiliated, and overwhelmed. Insiders claim he believes the accusations are exaggerated or misinterpreted, insisting he only ever made financial decisions for the good of the family. But that argument rings hollow now, especially to the children who claim they were deprived of money that rightfully belonged to them, money that could have changed their lives, funded opportunities, or supported them during hard seasons. And while Kody reportedly intends to comply with the court order, the emotional reparations will be far harder to settle. His relationships with the OG kids, already strained, may never fully recover. Financial experts consulted by fans have also raised alarming questions about the Browns' history of shared income, individual tax obligations, property acquisition, and the controversial Coyote Pass land drama. Viewers vividly remember Kody pushing wives and kids to pour their money into land that still remains undeveloped. Now, with this judiciary blow, more scrutiny than ever surrounds the family's long-hidden financial agreements. Was there ever true transparency? Did each wife really understand where the money was going? Did the children ever get what they were promised? The court order only fuels those lingering questions and leaves fans wondering if TLC will address the scandal in future episodes, or if the network will attempt to keep the mess off camera. For longtime Sister Wives viewers, this entire catastrophe feels like the climax of a story years in the making, a slow build of neglect, favoritism, emotional distance, and fractured communication finally reaching its boiling point. The audience has watched the Brown family unravel piece by piece, season by season, but no one expected the dissolution to include a legally mandated repayment for stolen funds tied to the original children who helped build the show's foundation. These kids were there from the beginning, smiling on camera, defending the family's polygamous lifestyle, enduring moves, upheavals, and emotional hardships for the sake of unity. Now they stand on the opposite end of a legal judgment, facing the painful truth that their loyalty may have been exploited. And yet, in the midst of devastation, something unexpected has bloomed: unity among the siblings. Reports say the OG kids have strengthened their bond through this ordeal, forming a tight circle of mutual support as they navigate the emotional labyrinth of betrayal and justice. While once separated by household divisions, they now find common ground in shared disappointment and shared healing, leaning on each other in ways they never could before. Some say this might be the one positive outcome, a renewed sibling strength born from a father's failures. As the dust settles, fans are left with one burning question. What happens next? Will more financial skeletons emerge? Will the kids speak out publicly? Will TLC confront the controversy or quietly move past it? And how will Kody rebuild what's left of his fractured legacy? For now, one thing is certain. The court order has changed everything. It has shaken the family to its core, rewritten the narrative of Kody's leadership, and ignited a scandal that will likely dominate the Sister Wives universe for months, or even years, to come. Kody once boasted that his family was built on honesty and principle. Now he faces the painful task of proving whether those values were ever real at all. And just when fans thought the controversy had reached its peak, more layers of emotional turmoil have begun to spill out as those closest to the situation reveal the depth of the OG kids' hurt, frustration, and exhaustion. For years, many of the older Brown children tried to shield their complicated relationships with their father from the public, choosing silence over confrontation, hoping time would heal wounds that seemed to fester quietly beneath the surface. But the court's decision has blown the lid off years of suppressed emotion, giving the kids a sense of validation mixed with heartbreak, because while they finally have proof that something was deeply wrong with their father's financial handling, it also confirms the painful truth that the person they trusted to lead their family may have, intentionally or not, prioritized his own desires over their futures. Some sources claim a few of the kids felt pressure to stay quiet for the sake of family image, especially during the early seasons of the show, when the Browns were trying desperately to appear unified and spiritually aligned in the public eye. But behind that polished surface, doubts and whispers about fund allocation were allegedly circulating long before their parents divorced and the family splintered into separate factions. The court order didn't create the mistrust, it simply exposed it. Meanwhile, those close to Robyn insist she is battling waves of guilt and fear, terrified that this scandal will further cement the long-standing narrative that she was the catalyst for the family's deepest fractures. While she continues to deny any involvement or knowledge of the alleged financial mishandling, the timing of Kody's shift in lifestyle, coinciding with her addition to the family, remains a sore spot among fans and even some of the older siblings. And whether fair or not, the perception that Kody poured more financial attention into Robyn's household continues to inflame tensions that were already volatile. Some insiders even claim that Robyn has privately begged Kody to address the issue publicly and transparently, hoping a statement might ease the storm. But Kody, described as stubborn and wounded by those close to him, reportedly refuses to admit wrongdoing, insisting that the kids are misunderstanding what he calls decades of fluid family finances. Yet it's precisely this vagueness, this lack of clear accounting, that caused the court to step in and compel repayment. Adding to the chaos, TLC producers are said to be scrambling behind the scenes, unsure whether to incorporate the scandal into future episodes or shield it from the cameras to avoid legal complications. Some producers allegedly see the controversy as ratings gold, the kind of explosive storyline that could revive a series teetering under viewer fatigue. Others fear that exposing the financial battle could permanently damage the fragile trust between the Browns and the network, especially if the OG kids refuse to participate in filming or speak on camera about the ordeal. With Janelle, Christine, and Mary no longer spiritually or romantically tied to Kody, there is limited incentive for them to protect him or sugarcoat what happened. And if the kids decide to reveal their side of the story publicly, whether through interviews, podcasts, or social media, the fallout could reshape the Sister Wives narrative forever. As for Kody, the patriarch who once thrilled fans with his energetic leadership and big-picture dreams, he now faces a future defined by distrust, tension, and legal scrutiny. The $100,000 repayment isn't just a financial setback, it's a symbolic blow to his identity as a father and leader. Those who know him say he is grappling with shame, denial, and a desperate need to defend his choices, even as the people he loves most accuse him of betrayal. The saddest part, insiders say, is that the damage may already be irreversible. The court order may force him to return money, but it cannot restore the emotional bonds that have been broken. And as the scandal continues to echo throughout the Brown family and the larger fan community, one truth has become painfully clear. The family that once stood as a symbol of unconventional unity is now a portrait of shattered trust, exposed secrets, and a father struggling to hold onto a legacy slipping through his fingers.